Welcome to Feltovich Fit. Today is Palm Sunday, and that means Easter's coming up. And that means kielbasa and sauerkraut. Today I'm going to walk you through how to make the sauerkraut. Don't get intimidated by this dish. It's actually dirt simple. You only need a few simple ingredients, which I'll walk you through. First, you're going to need cabbage. I've got about 2.5 pounds worth. Next, you're going to need non-iodized salt. Here I have just plain kosher salt. That's important, non-iodized, because the iodine in it could potentially mess with the fermentation. What could also mess with the fermentation is chlorinated water. You can potentially filter the water, but really the safest bet is just to get distilled water, which I've got here. And then you can get special gear to put it in to ferment, but just an airtight mason jar works fine. So first, for the cabbage, you're going to strip the outer leaves, which I've already done. Then you're going to go ahead and chop it like so. What you want to do is you want to get out that core. That's not very tasty. And from there, you're just going to take it and slice it thin like so. When that's done, just go ahead and add it to a bowl, and then we'll salt it. We're not doing a science experiment, so you don't have to use exact proportions. And then some recipes, they call for you to knead the salt into the cabbage. I think that's a big waste of time. Just let time and chemistry do its magic. So give it a good shake. And then let time and chemistry work their magic. The salted cabbage has been sitting for a couple hours, and now you can see that the liquid is starting to collect at the bottom. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take it, and we're going to fill a couple mason jars loosely with it, and then go ahead and with whatever's handy, this measuring glass works well, go ahead and tamp it down. Don't discard the outer leaves though, because they're going to come in handy later. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cut a piece just slightly wider than the edge of the jar, like so, and I'll show you how we'll use this later. Go ahead and scrape any cabbage off the sides of the jar, and that's going to be important because any exposed cabbage, once you cover it with the liquid, could act as a magnet for mold. If there's not enough liquid to cover the cabbage, don't fret. That's where the distilled water comes in handy. Just mix up a solution, 1 cup of distilled water for 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. Stir that thoroughly and use that to cover the cabbage. This is where that leaf that we saved from earlier and cut specially is going to come in handy. So go ahead, put it in there and tamp it down one last time. All right, give it one final check. Make sure that everything is submerged, because like I said, those exposed leaves are going to be mold magnets. Just using the tips of your fingertips, screw it until it starts to catch. You don't want to wrench on it. I call it fingertip tight. Finally, you're going to want to store them in a relatively cool 65 to 70 degree place, preferably out of the sunlight, because sunlight can degrade some of the vitamins. Nothing left to do but sit and wait. Welcome back to Feltovich Fit. It's Easter Sunday, which means Christ is risen and the sauerkraut is fermented. The sauerkraut has been fermenting for a week now, which is on the low end of what most recipes call for, but it should be sufficient. Another pro tip that I neglected to mention earlier is that you can use a common household item like a glass measuring cup to weight the sauerkraut down, because remember, any of those exposed leaves are potential mold magnets. So we're going to go ahead, going to take that top leaf out. Get over here. Oh yeah, that's sour. All right, that's gonna be awesome. So with that, what I've got is some extra garlic kielbasa from Hirsch's Meat Market. Hirsch's Meat Market, the official meat market of Feltovich Fit. And I'm gonna cook this up and probably serve it with mustard, some sour cream. I didn't make my own sour cream this time, but I think that's a topic for a later episode, and probably a few over easy eggs on top of it. The mason jars work fine. Obviously, we showed that you can make them work. However, I've got a new toy that I'm going to be debuting on a later episode. It's a stoneware fermenting crock. It's always good to have purpose-designed kit for whatever you're doing. So obviously, the mason jars can work in a bind, but this is purpose-designed. It's opaque, so you don't have to worry about putting it in the closet, because remember that UV light can adversely affect the probiotics. And it's got these non-reactive weights that you can put in the fermenting crock to keep whatever you're fermenting weighted down. So I'm going to actually debut this piece of kit with kimchee, which is going to be the next thing we ferment. So without further ado, we're going to get these sausages cooked and serve breakfast. All right, last pro tip before we eat, because I'm hungry and this pan is hot, is that you don't want to overheat the sauerkraut, because then you might kill all those probiotics that we worked so hard to create. So to gently warm the sauerkraut, what you're going to do is you're going to drain the sausage, the excess fat from the sausage. Then you're going to use the residual heat from the sausage to gently warm the kielbasa. Sorry, to gently warm the sauerkraut. You know what I'm saying. I need to eat. Blood sugar's low.